A man can be going through the worst time of his life. He can be suffering from the worst kind of depression. He can be stressed out to the peak. And I promise you, if you ask that man randomly, just out of the blue, how you doing? Most likely his answer is going to be, I'm fine. Or I'm okay. And I promise you, this isn't the answer that he want to give you. Most likely he gave you that response because he feel like that's the answer that he has to give you. And I'm going to explain. I go by Wills. It's the homie Matt. It's the Matt and Will show. Let's talk about it. This is a real important topic for me because I suffer from this as well, you know, just speaking personally. And it's not even on no macho shit. It's not even on no I'm a man, so I feel it's really because of the fact that as a man, you have certain expectations. Well, I'm going to just speak for myself, but I'm almost certain that there's a lot of other men that can relate to this. You have certain expectations that either you put on yourself or the people around you put on you that you need to uphold. And when you try to express any kind of anything that shows any kind of ounce of weakness, it's you become a burden to the people that's around you. And honestly, with me having the awareness that I have, I realize that that's a stigma, or that's just something that, you know, we tell ourselves, but at the same time, it's like we've gotten examples of what happens when you don't, you know. Most of the times, not even most of the times in my life, like I said, I'm going to use myself as an example. The times in my life that I've actually been willing to express how I feel or what I'm going through, I've either been seen as weak, or whatever I chose to express to whoever I chose to express it to was used against me. And I don't know if a lot of men feel that same way, so they choose not to. I'm only really speaking on why I choose to kind of just keep things in, because it's like, who cares?
Right.
Like, a lot of men feel this way, and it's not healthy. It's not that there's nothing good about holding in how you feel. I feel like a lot of men would actually express themselves a lot more if they felt like it was a safe environment to do so, you know, but a lot of us don't really get that opportunity. So, you know, it's just easier to just keep shit to ourselves and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember I had a, not even I had a, I had a, I had a girlfriend, and she's one of the very few that actually made me feel like I was in a position, or I had an environment where I can actually speak on how I feel. And when I chose to do that, everything that I said to this woman was turned against me whenever she was mad at me. And like,
Can we get an example? Like, how did that look?
yeah, you know, just so it's been times like when I spoke to her, you know, I was kind of going through a real low point in my life at the time. You know, I lost a good chunk of the fortune that I had due to, you know, unfortunate circumstances, and she was there for me. You know what I'm saying, in the situation. But, you know, I didn't really feel like I could open up to her about it. You know, just about how I felt. Like, she knew what I was going through in reality, but like, you know, I still kept that, you know, that certain demeanor where I wasn't showing too much. But then it was a time where I actually just expressed it to her, like, you know, what this made me feel, like the shame of it, and you know how low I am, and like how I'm depressed about it. And there was a situation where we kind of got into an argument, and like everything that I said to her about that, like she kind of just utilized it as a weapon to hurt me with it. Right. And she succeeded. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Which is why to this day, you know, I'm still a little timid about really expressing myself. But she definitely hit the mark. You know, she used the fact that when I told her, you know, I feel, you know, the shame that I felt about it. She's saying, well, that's why you feel like this, because you this kind of person, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that right there is definitely a main reason why, like, a lot of men just choose to just keep shit to themselves.
Yeah, she weaponized your vulnerability.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, I would definitely just voice to any woman that's going through or that has a man, if that man gives you an opportunity inside his mind and just express himself, don't underestimate that moment. Like, don't feel like this is just another kind of conversation. Like, that's very rare, because nobody wants their vulnerability to be utilized against them to hurt them.
Right.
You know, because I know how that shit felt, and I don't. And I tell myself this to not open up, because I know how I felt in that moment. And I say, well, I don't want to ever feel like this shit again. Like, I don't want to feel this shit again. So most of the times when, like, somebody tell me or ask me, like, even when it's somebody I'm dealing with, am I okay? My immediate reaction is just, yeah, I'm good. It's kind of like a knee-jerk reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of second nature now. And it's not nothing to be proud of, but there's reasons for it. You know, like, a lot of men really just feel like they don't have a safe environment to really voice their opinions or voice how they feel.
Yeah. And you know what, man? I'm a firm believer, when someone upset, they're going to show their true colors. They're going to talk how they really feel.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? When a person is in a good place, it's like, oh, yeah, you can tell me this. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to feel no type of way about it. Mm-hmm. That's when they're in that good place. But in the back of their mind, they know they lying. But when they upset, their true colors, their true feelings is going to come out. So that's how she weaponized your vulnerability. Mm-hmm. Because in actuality, when you were vulnerable, she did look at you as that was a weakness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She did look down at you in some type of way. But if a woman truly loved you, you know what I'm saying, she wouldn't look down on you that way, because if you truly love her, you wouldn't look down at her when she's down. You know what I'm saying? Because if anything, if our women are down, that ignites something in a man inherently to step up and try to make some things happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But on the contrary, do you think that's really a mechanism where women feel that way? Because they're taught differently. You know what I'm saying? Their emotions may not trigger that way. Their emotions may be to, okay, it's time for me to exit, because it's self-preservation for women in a lot of situations. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So if you're showing some form of weakness, you're going through something, in your mind also, you're the reason why men generally don't say anything, because, yo, I know for a fact, deep down in my mind, no matter how much I love this woman, if something goes wrong, I understand in most cases a woman's first act is self-preservation.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I do tell her what the real situation is, or how I'm doing bad, how I'm hurt, mm-hmm. I feel like she's probably going to try to preserve herself.
Yep.
And then, like, tell me I'm going to have to figure it out. But of course, you're not going to say them words, but the actions will show it.
Agree. And the irony of that, bro, is, like, I find and I see a lot of women being the voice of, like, wanting men to express themselves, right, and be open and stuff like that. But it's like, do you really want that? Like, honestly, like, ask yourself this, because you preach this a lot to your man or just in general, but then when that man provides that floor to actually just speak on how he feel and stuff like that, you find it, even if you don't even express it in that moment. Like my man said, like, you know, when people are upset, their true colors and how they feel really, you know, comes out. It's kind of hypocritical, because you can't ask a man to open up and be more, emotionally available for you, when he chooses to do so, you find it weak, or you seem, or you consider him a weak individual because he's just expressing himself. And then when he sees that, and then he just bottles everything in, most of the time it's gonna come out in anger, or it's gonna come out in frustration. And that is like the main emotions that men express: ego, anger, and frustration. There's a reason for that. We're human beings too. You know what I'm saying? When we feel depressed at times, we feel sad at times, we feel shame at times, but we don't have that open floor to do that, because a woman can come to their man at any moment and just say, hey, babe, I'm not feeling this today. You know what I mean? I'm feeling the type of way. And that man is going to consult that woman. He's going to nurture her. Right. You know, he's not going to make her feel like she's less than because she's feeling this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but a lot of women, which I love y'all, it's just you have to really know what you want. Like, don't offer that or express you want that kind of relationship if you feel like at a certain point you're going to utilize everything this man telling you to hurt him in the back end of it.
Yeah, because go to your friends and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's going to remember that. Like, for
sure, forever.
I promise you this. Every man, I promise you, and I don't care if that man is in his late 50s, 60s. He remember that one time that he chose to express himself to a woman, and she completely used that to crush him. Yeah, I'm dead ass. Like, I
even on a small scale. I'm gonna give you an example of how.
Yeah, give me that.
I don't even think it's petty. I almost use the word petty, but it's not really petty.
Yeah.
But me and my wife were actually having this little tit for tat about, going out somewhere, and I was like, you didn't tell me, the exact day to remind me or something like that. I'm like, yo, you didn't remind me. I had all this going on, so I forgot. So I was thinking that you would remind me about this. And she was upset about, already. And she was like, I'm not your calendar. So she said it to me, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I bet. So, after that conversation, so I never forget those words she said. I put the initials beside her name, NAC, not a calendar. So every time I'm about to go ask her something, text her about her name, I see NAC. That's how I engraved it in my head to make sure I don't forget. So, okay, you feel that way? So I'm gonna make sure I don't never ask you about nothing when it comes to, but also that's something I can work on too.
Yeah.
At the same time, like, okay, maybe she didn't mean this permanently. Maybe she was just hot at that moment, but I still know there's some type of foundational truth there where she felt like that. So my reaction to it is to, I bet. I'm not gonna ever ask you nothing when it comes to that. But that is me going to the extreme. But as time went by, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to say never anymore, because I was mad then. Because that was I wasn't mad, but I was like, I bet.
Yeah.
But over time, I was like, okay, I'm not going to go to the extreme, because I'm doing some self-reflection now and get rid of the never, because now I'm acting emotional like I don't know better. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to be aware of this, and I'm going to make sure this is not something I ask her often. You know what I'm saying? I kind of just changed it.
Yeah.
But that's just an example of how when you say something to definitely certain type of men, like, they're going to take that joint to the core and be like, all right, but you should be honest in the first place. Like, if that was, I don't think that would have came out until that little argument we had. Like, so she had something there. Yeah. Where she felt like, yo, I don't want that keep having to tell you about dates or things like that. I want you to do it yourself. But she never verbalized that to me. And so it never came out until an argument where she was upset and it just spewed out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, agreed.
But she could have been said something about it, and I could have already took that to the drawing board and try to work on it. You know what I mean?
It just came out in that way because that's just something that, she was probably dwelling on.
Yeah, it was festering already.
Yeah, 100%. And you say it's petty, man, but it's like, I don't even know if petty, like you said, I don't know if petty is the right word for it, dog. I really just feel like men, as, like you said, certain kind of men, we remember moments where that when shit triggers
Mm-hmm.
triggers us, like it's not nothing that I wouldn't even say we don't let it go, because it's like, well, maybe, because just to speak on myself, like I'm 31, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in my early 20s, I can say that was probably the first time that I ever felt like that I was genuinely in love with the person that I was with. And I had this situation happen to me where it's like I expressed myself, I was open to her, I was like, it was no shields up,
Mm-hmm.
and that was my woman.
Right, right.
And we got into like a huge spat at one time, and this not even I'm not even referring to the example that I gave previously, but we got into a huge spat, and like in that moment, everything that she felt about me that I was unaware about came out
Right.
in that whole moment, and I carried that with me, bro,
Mm-hmm.
for like years, even after her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't make myself available. Like, I was dating,
Mm-hmm.
after that, but I didn't make myself emotionally available to no woman that I was dealing with.
Yeah.
Because I would kind of like PTSD in a sense. It was just like I would go back to that moment in time, and it's just like, bro, you don't even try to trust it. You know what I'm saying? And this is my example, but I'm pretty sure there are plenty of men who go through this to this day, and that's why it's so hard for a man to really feel like he has the space to kind of just speak on how he feel, and you can say his pride, you can say his ego. If we're gonna, like my man said, we're gonna do like self-reflection, you can say that, and and 9 times out of 10, that's the catalyst of it. That's where it's stemming from.
Mm-hmm.
But to that man, it's a level of protection. He don't want to experience what he experienced before that. You know what I'm saying? Because experience what he experienced back then, or whatever moment that he had that make it do that. A lot of, like I said, ask the oldest, go ask your grandpa. Go ask your grandpa right now. Do he remember his first heartbreak? I guarantee you he can break it down to you vividly.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? And so as men, we are different. We are different creatures. A woman going to express how she feel regardless. Because that's just there. That's in their nature to do so.
They have that luxury because society-wise, they provide that to them. Everyone says that a woman is emotional. A woman can say things about how she feels. You should expect that. But when it comes to men, they don't have that luxury because you also are, what's the word? You're conditioned a different type of way when it comes to a man. That's why a woman has that opportunity to feel like he's weak when he's actually talking about how he really feels. But I think women should think differently about that self-preservation. Since that's how you already feel, you're going to try to save yourself. You got to try to channel that thought process that you have naturally into something of a bigger picture. That's when it comes to family. If you are self-preserving something, you would still be self-preservation. It still will be self-preservation if you're thinking about your family, because you're still stronger with your core.
Great.
You're still going to be stronger with your man beside you. You're still going to be stronger with your family intact. So if you think about self-preservation in not a solo way, but a way of unity, you're going to be in a much better case, and your husband going to be in a much better place as well. And then he can actually feel safe because he knows that her mentality of self-preservation is unity of us. But that's the man. We already have that.
Yeah.
Men in most cases, they would do anything for their family. They will lay their life down on the line for their family.
It's kind of like in our nature, man.
Right.
Yeah.
But women are the ones who run with the children. They are used to that. They are preserving themselves and their child. The man is the one who's going to lay his life on the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, just naturally. And that's what everyone is conditioned to feel like too, which is nothing wrong with it, because I lay my life down for mine.
Yeah, agreed.
But when it comes to things, when it's not something where you are having to protect your life and in a someone's threatening way, but self-preservation should come when you are just life, period. Everybody has ups and downs. If your husband is down, if your boyfriend is down, don't try to leave him just because he's down, because overall, once he come back up, it's going to be a whole different type of confidence that he has in that woman. Yeah. He going to look at that woman in a whole different way. And he would definitely, you know what I'm saying, lay his life on the line for a woman that he know, like, yo, I hit my lowest or I hit a low and she didn't jump out and leave, because I know most would have left. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a rare thing. So that's a different way to think about it.
And I think, nowadays, especially with, social media and stuff like that, it's really being pushed to, like, that just cling on to this self-preservation that you were talking about, especially with women, because a lot of women feel like, okay, if you're not going to do it for me, another man will, and they have plenty of men that's in their inboxes every day, even women that's in relationships, especially women that's in relationships. So it's that agenda is being heavily pushed. So especially nowadays, it's very hard for a man to feel like he has that room to kind of really voice how you feel. But if you don't, like he said, with women, like if you are in a relationship, I feel like the best thing that you can do for the man that you are with is make sure that he knows, not even just know, but feels that he has a safe environment to speak his mind, and it might take a while. Give him grace with that. Show him grace. Give him understanding, because the moment that, and I promise you this, it can go either way. The moment that he chooses to do so, your reaction to it and how you choose to handle it is you're going to either push that man away, or he's going to be for you forever. Because it's very rare that a man finds a woman that he can express himself and express his emotions to without it being utilized against him or making him feel like he's a weak individual. So I feel like that relation, the way a woman handles her man when it comes to his emotions and how he feeling, how he expresses himself in relationships is very key. And I feel like that'll really open up a lot of doors when it comes to men feeling like it's safe enough to speak on how he feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I promise you this, man. How you feel love every day when you wake up, you probably feel a little down, you probably feel depressed, and you feel stressed. That man going through the same shit. I promise you. It's just you have the opportunity to express it to him because it's given and it's like a natural thing. Right. But that man feeling the same thing. He just don't feel like him speaking his mind is going to do anything beneficial to him.
Right. And then don't try to make it seem like another thing, like even if a woman don't throw it in your face in a negative way, like being just rude or something like that, there's another thing that can make a man not want to share things. If he shares something with you, like, I'm keeping it real with you, this is a situation, and you are overly worrisome after that, he's not going to feel like you have the capability to handle a bad news.
Good point.
So then he's going to be like, yo, I can't even tell her nothing because as soon as I tell her this, she's going to be overly worried. She's going to be nagging me about it every day, saying something like that. So now I can't tell her. I got to handle it and carry this weight by myself. So that's another thing where if you want to understand how a man thinks and if you want to do something about it in your relationship, I would take heed to these words, because if you don't control yourself, like if you don't show that you can handle what he's telling you, why would he say it to you? Because now these are two burdens he got to carry. He got to not alone try to bounce back from whatever's happening. Now he also got you on his back that he got to carry, which you worrying him all the time. And it's different ways to give that feedback. You know what I'm saying? To be supportive, to try to help find a way. You know what I'm saying? You can bring forth ideas, but don't make it feel like a negative vibe, because your home's supposed to be your safe place. Yeah. If it start not feeling like your safe place, nobody want to be home. The man ain't gonna want to be home. The woman ain't gonna want to be home because like it don't feel right.
And he's gonna feel it.
Yeah.
When he's talking to you, if you giving out that like I don't know kind of vibe,
right.
He's gonna feel it. And I promise you, that's probably gonna be the last time he ever try to speak in that manner. You know what I'm saying? So like you have to women.
He protecting you too. Like we're gonna automatically feel like we gotta protect you.
Yes, and that's it. That's just in our nature as a man, you know, to provide and to protect.
Yeah.
But ladies, you have a lot more power than you think. Like you have a lot more. Like when you know, and I get this and I hear this all the time too. Women don't like to be submissive, or like you know, that's like one of those no-nos now in this new generation for whatever reason, especially if you got a good man and you still in that kind of shit, lady, come on. But that shit goes hand in hand. You might feel like you're giving the man more power than what you want to give him, but I promise you, a real woman that knows how to nurture a man, she has a lot more power than it might be realized, because if you can, like I said, if you can show that man that he can express himself and you can handle it and you can receive it and you can reciprocate the energy that he needs in that moment, like he's gonna feel just as protected as he makes you feel.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because we wake up every day stressed out, shit on our mind, go to work, come home, real man, come home, make sure you straight. If you got kids, make sure the kids straight. Make sure his business is straight. And we rinse and repeat every day. You know, so it's really nothing. It's really nothing for when you put that kind of man in a situation to where he feels like he can't express himself to you. It don't matter if y'all together. He's gonna feel alone. And understand how that works too. It's a lot of men and women. It's a lot of men that's in relationships that feels lonely. He feel like he's lonely because he can't show certain things, or he can't say certain things because he feels like he's going to jeopardize whatever you two have, because you're not properly giving him the kind of energy that he needs to feel like he's safe. You know, and that, like I said, when a man feels like that in a relationship, he shuts down. And when he shuts down, you have to don't scrutinize the man. Like, if you feel like your man isn't being as open or as just as open as he should be with you, evaluate how you speak to him. Evaluate what you're showing him, because he wants to talk to you. Trust me, man. I'm probably and like I said, I'm speaking personally, man. I'm probably one of the most preserved individuals that I know, because of my past experiences and me being so self-protected, just emotionally and mentally. From me speaking like this, men want a safe environment to feel like he can speak on what he want to speak on.
Yeah, for sure.
And women and ladies, y'all have all the power to provide that for a man. You just got to know how to handle it. You got to know how to deal with it, because like he said, if you're not giving him that energy, or you making him feel like what he's expressing to you is too much, that's the last time he's going to try to do that. And then now you're just going to be getting, I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm straight.
Right. That's
going to be his reaction to every kind of, are you okay? Are you fine? I'm telling you.
If a woman come to a man in most cases with some type of, like, say if it's a financial issue, hey, babe, I'm at the brink of losing my job. In most cases, the man gonna say, don't worry about it, we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
He may ask you some probing questions. Okay, what's happening there? Do you think it's salvageable? If not, we'll have to move on into something else. You know what I'm saying? That's just a different type of approach. And I think, ladies can learn from that approach when it comes to things like that, because there's a lot of things men can learn from ladies with their approaches as well. And communication, man, is so important. Like, if you are saying something to someone like, hey, like your man, and also this can go both ways. Your man comes to you like, yo, I'm feeling agitated because of something you done yesterday. This was what it was. And the first thing you respond with the back is, well, if you would have did this, you're not listening to what he's saying.
Not at all.
You already trying to flip it on him instead of listening to what you could have done. And even bigger than that, how you made your partner feel. If your first response is, well, you should have did this, that is incorrect. And why would he keep coming to you about stuff, about the way you make him feel?
Yeah.
As soon as he telling you how you made him feel, you make it like it's his fault that you made him feel that way.
Deflection, man.
It's extreme deflection. And then it's like trying to flip it like, and then now you walking around in the house or you're walking around wherever you at. Like, now you got an issue with him when he was telling you that you made him feel away. Yeah. Now you waiting on him to come try to get something right with you. When you weren't supposed to get something right.
But you so much that you want to communicate and you want a better understanding. But the moment that he tries to do that, you deflect it. You know, because a lot of people and a lot of people, and I'm a generalizer. I'm not even gonna say women. Matter of fact, I am, because it is what it is. A lot of women that are in relationships or just in general, they don't listen to understand. They listen to respond. You know, they don't try to. It's like most of the times when you're trying to express yourself to a woman, in their mind, they already have an answer. The first 5 words that come out your mouth. So everything else to them is coming like Charlie Brown. Want. You know what I'm saying? It's not, they're not listening because they're just waiting to respond to whatever you have to say. And that makes a man feel like he don't have a voice. That makes a man feel like I don't have the environment or the foundation to where I can speak to my woman, just generally speaking. You know what I mean? He might not even be trying to cause an argument or nothing like that. Right. He probably just trying to speak on, look, you know, whatever happened the other day, look, this is how this made me feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? So maybe we can come up with something.
This is how you avoid it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, but when he does that, and the only thing you have to do, I mean, your only response to that is just deflection.
Now you pissing me off.
And to make him feel like and to make him feel like he wrong for even trying to come to you to talk about it.
Right.
What do you expect from that kind of man? Like, I mean, what do you expect from that man at that point? You still feel like he gonna come to you and just talk to you about certain things he feel? Nah, he just gonna keep it to himself. Yep. And then now that causes separation, mental separation from you two. And then now you feel like, and that's like an avalanche effect, you know, like that can lead to a whole slew of problems, you know, because when that communication barrier is broken, then that's when trust get into it. Now, oh, well, he ain't talking to me. Who he talking to? Now, shit, you know what I'm saying? Now y'all ain't trusting each other like that. And then it just goes downhill from there. So, like, understand the strength of not even just communication, but the strength that you have in your relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, that man is going to provide. Yes, the real man. Yes, that man is going to provide. Yes, that man is going to nurture you. Yes, that man is going to make sure the family is taken care of. But you have the most important part in the whole situation, and that's making sure that man feels mentally safe with you.
Right. Yeah. And then, like, you know me, I'm a big person on self-reflection. So just us talking about that in that situation, I'm still going to think about, okay, I know how a woman mind may in most cases work, because there's always exceptions to everything. So if I already know she's gonna probably she's gonna feel defensive when I'm telling her how she made me feel, maybe I should also preface things and disarm her, so she won't have that trigger.